Hey socialites, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Ariell. I do mainly beauty videos, fragrance, and lifestyle. So if those are the type of videos you enjoy, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and come join the family. So in today's video, I'll be trying some new makeup. A lot of these items are products that I picked up right at the very end of the Sephora sale and didn't get a chance to use them yet. So if you want to see how I got this look with some new products, then keep on watching. So for moisturizer today, I use the Murad Environmental Shield. It has vitamin C in it and it has SPF 30 in it. So I did a YouTube short with a combination of using some new Murad products. So check out my shorts tab if you want to see that. So for primer, I'm going to use the Cali Ray So Blown primer. And I'm not going to use a whole lot of this. This is super mattifying. So I'm just gonna put it like in my T-zone area. You can actually see how it instantly mattifies on the skin. And for foundation, y'all, I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. I think this is still viral. So many people have wanted to see me use this in conjunction with other products. I'm actually gonna set it this time. It's made to be self-setting, but I'm gonna set it with powder this time, which most of you said that you guys set it with powder, but it's actually made to not have to set with powder. The component that it comes out, I feel like it saves so much product. Like it comes out so skinny and saves product. I like to start applying in the areas that I need the most coverage first. And I'm gonna blend with my Merit foundation brush. So during the Sephora sale, I did pick up two new concealers that I hadn't tried yet. So one being the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer. I got the shade NY12 and it's supposed to be brightening and hydrating. I also picked up the Saie Concealer in the shade 14, which I've heard amazing things about. Now Natasha, it has been sort of like mixed reviews. Let's try Natasha. It has this bent wand. It was really comfortable on the skin. Whoa, this is some coverage. This is giving hourglass coverage. Feels super creamy and buttery. The consistency reminds me of like Haus Labs consistency. So I'm gonna take my puff and blend it. That looks nice and I like the shade. I almost wanna try the Saie Concealer on the other side. I wonder is the color may be a bit off. This color seems like it may be like straight up my skin tone. Yeah, it's really close to my skin tone, but let's try the Saie on the other side. This feels really creamy too. So this one has slightly less coverage than Natasha, but they're both nice. And the Saie feels a little bit more hydrating, which I did expect that though. Okay, so taking my LYS contour stick. So I'm gonna take my Amicole Desert Date Multi-Stick. This one's in the shade Flame. And to brighten the under eye, I'm gonna use my Dior Forever Skin Correct. This one's in the shade 3.5. And I still didn't get to try the new Hourglass powder. This is the new Hourglass Vanish powder. It's in the shade Translucent Tan. It does have a full-size mirror. I felt like this was the best color because it's only one shade darker than this, and that shade looked a little bit too deep for my skin tone. So it does come with this really soft puff. And I'm gonna take my Laura Mercier loose powder. This one's the Ultra Blur formula, just to set in my highlighted areas. And I'm gonna take a powder brush with my Hourglass powder and set the rest of the face. So Game Beauty sent over a few of their eyeshadow palettes and some lip products. So I wanted to try out the Saie palette, and it has these beautiful almost like sunset shades in here. So because I'm working with those colors, let's go in with the Pat McGrath Longwear Primer. This is an eyeshadow primer. It doesn't really have much color to it. So because this palette doesn't have much of a transition shade, there's these two oranges, a yellow and a brown. I'm gonna take this MAC palette where I picked out the shades to go in here. I'll put the shade in the description box because I'll have to do a little work to try to pull it out. But this is going to serve as my transition shade. And I'm just going to put that like right below the brow bone. So now I'm going to go in with the orange right below the brown, almost like meshing them in together. And this orange does have a little bit of shimmers in here. Not a whole lot, but it does have a little bit of glitter reflex in here. So now I'm gonna take the darkest shade, the dark brown, and put that in the outer area. Tapping very little because this is super pigmented, and sort of just blow that outward. So now I'm gonna take this sort of like a sunset orange, just like an iridescent kind of orangey bronzy shade. And this is going to serve as my lid shade. And then back into the dark brown just to sort of, I'm basically going back and forth meshing them in together. And right in the inner corner, I'm going to add the yellow, slightly shimmery as well. Like I see a little bit of reflex as well. I feel like with the yellow, I need like a white base for it really to show up. So I'm going to take my NYX Epic Wear eyeliner and place that down. Oh, it doesn't want to stick. My eye must have been watering right here. So I don't know if it was the pigment or is it just my eye, the reason why it doesn't want to stick. I think it's my eye, because nothing wants to stick right there. That happens sometimes, but we're gonna just stick the yellow there anyways. Gonna fill in my brows with my Revolution brow pencil. For liner, I'm gonna use Tiramisu from the Sephora collection. It's one of their 12-hour pencils. I have this in the shade Coconut, which I usually use in my waterline. So I picked up two darker shades towards the end of the sale to line the outer third. I like that it's a cool tone brown, because even though I have a deep brown in the outer edge, it's a reddish brown, so I can still see the liner. I also picked up this Patrick Ta contour brush. It's like a nose contour brush or maybe an eye contour brush during the sale. So I'm going to take this fan side with my Merit Complexion stick, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. So taking my Charlotte Tilbury blush, this is the Chic to Chic blush, and just taking a little bit. I know this is like an orangey shade, the cream blush I use, but I just want to soften the edges of it. So I'm going to use a really light hand just to soften right in between. ColourPop BFF 3 liner. And this is a lipstick that I picked up during the Sephora sale. It's from Sephora collection. I think they discontinued these, or maybe they repackaged them because I don't see this packaging anymore. And I'll put the shade in the description box, but it's like a creamy lipstick formula that's like a nude peachy tone. So when Urban Decay sent over the foundation, they also sent their long-lasting makeup setting spray. So let's try this out. It's the All Nighter setting spray. Oh, it's double capped. So it has this cap and then it has another cap. You gotta be careful with this spray. It's one of those that sort of squirts out and makes little splotches. So with this spray, you have to make sure you do a complete spray, not just like how I did half sprays, because it will make little drops on your makeup. So even though this isn't a foundation review, we're still going to do a wear test because of the powder. We switched it up. So I'm gonna, let's see what time it is. It's 11:55, so I'm gonna wear the makeup for a few hours and come back and check in. Hey y'all, so I'm back. It's a little bit after 8, so it's well over 8 hours later. I almost forgot. So this is what we have. I haven't touched up, haven't blotted my face, touched it at all. Now the eyes have pretty much rubbed off, and that is my fault. You guys, I saw an Instagram reel a little bit after I left earlier, and I laughed so hard for almost 10 minutes straight. I kept watching it over and over, and I laughed even harder every time and was crying. So even if you look under eye a little bit, you'll see where my makeup came off because I was literally crying laughing. So that's no fault of like the powder or the concealer. But if you look past that section here and here, I do feel like it's minimal creasing with both concealers. So I will test it out again just to make sure, but seems as if it's minimal creasing. I do actually like the Natasha a little bit better. It has more coverage. I tend to like more of the medium coverage than full, but something about the way the Natasha blended and something about the way it laid on the skin, I just really liked it. The Urban Decay foundation. I really like this foundation. I feel like it's a beautiful finish to the skin. Not only that, it's super long lasting. Once you set it with the powder, you're good to go. Like I said, this is 8 hours and I could probably easily go at least another 2 or 3 hours. I would probably blot a little bit here, maybe in the T-zone area, but it's not even too bad there. So comment down below. Let me know if you guys have used this. What has been your experience with it so far? Hopefully this video was helpful and you enjoyed it. Per usual, everything that I used today will be linked in the description box, and at the end of the month we'll talk about which ones, you know, are going to be my favorites. So if you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to come join the family by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. 'Cause I've been where you are. Don't you step to show me love, 'cause too fresh with the scars. Well, I don't have the